Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS Shout Out Show. Hope that you're having a fabulous Wednesday. I'm on location. I'm in Cebu, Philippines. It's actually 6 o'clock in the morning, Thursday, and it is 6 o'clock on Eastern Time on Wednesday. Listen, what does that say? Basically, I really wanted to do this show. Sorry I couldn't be with you last week, just dealing with family stuff. Please forgive me. Sometimes things happen. You just got to go with it. But it was joyful. Don't get me wrong. It was joyful. I want to give some shout outs to a couple people. I want to give a shout out to my brother Rick. Brother Rick has been really putting in work. And if you have any kind of computer stuff that you need and you're in the Washington, D.C. area, call Bright Technologies. Employ Black. That's what I'm going to say, Employ Black. Also, on top of that, there were a couple other people I want to shout out. But I really want to thank, and let me frame this correctly. I want to thank all the mothers and the fathers and the grandfathers that came before us, who in some way humored our foolishness as we talked about and talked as if we knew more than they actually, and we knew that more than they actually did. Somehow our experiences and our neophyte years somehow took precedence over what had gotten them to a point whereby we, in many regards, could live, if not free, a much more less restrictive existence here in the United States of America. Let me apologize to Grandpa Moss. Let me apologize to Ruth Moss. Let me apologize to Lafayette Moss. Let me apologize to Earl Green Bethel. Let me apologize to Aunt Maxine. Let me apologize to my mother, Mary Moss, because at this exact point in time, the moment we need them, we find that they are in the extended years, if we're lucky to have them here at all. But their concerns are not trying to raise young Black children, young white children. The idea now is that they're closer to Allah, and that time should be spent enjoying, if you will, enjoying the fruits of their labor. But some of that fruit, brothers and sisters, is rotten. That the harvest hasn't been good for quite a number of years. And this topic of the price of silence, we're going to talk about that because I'm going to go hard. I'm going to mention the author, and some of you may not like this author. You may be upset with some of his work, but he was literally our last Black historian of merit. Did I say Black historian of merit? Yes, because we got all these rappers, we got all these politicians, but you know what? And I'm going to give credit to MAGA, and I don't give them credit often, but they looked around and realized that there was a deficit of Black historians. And what we have is storytellers, but we don't have historians. We have storytellers, but we don't have archivists. We have storytellers, but we don't have a chain of commission in terms of how information was relayed, if it's relevant, the quality of it, all the soundness of it. We don't have that anymore. And at this exact point in time, it leads to silence. Someone put up a thing on WhatsApp, and they had these billboards in Northern California, advocating for Gaza. And then the Jewish lobby put up things saying, of course, this pro-Jew, pro-Israel, whatever. And they said, can you come up with something we could put on a billboard? I'm not saying they'll use it, but it was in the context of a joke, which was, if Jesus was in Gaza, what would he do? And the answer was duck. Duck. Let me explain something to you. And let me refresh my own memory, brothers and sisters. The fact of the matter is, many of you watch this show. Let me say that the avatar of the people that watch this show, and I'm not saying I got 1 million people. I got a steady group of maybe like 10, 50 people loving it down. We're a community. The avatar of the people who watch this show is that you know too damn much. You know too damn much. I'm not saying that you're dangerous individually or collectively, but you know too damn much. That you're not on other podcasts watching foolishness, that you're not spending valuable time and opportunity costs with Fox, that when you look at MAGA, you have a very, very clear idea of what MAGA is and what it isn't. Therefore, there is a conspiracy to keep you silent. But there's a fiduciary responsibility, and we do not stay silent. Here today on the Shout Out Show, I'm glad you were able to come. I appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about the price of silence. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So before we get started, let me give some shout outs. I'm gonna give a shout out to Sister Ree, Houston, Texas. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, little sis. I hope you're doing well. Peace and blessings to you and your family, Derek and Juwan. Also, wa alaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to my main man, Altaf Rashid, coming all the way in from Toronto, Ontario. He's one of our day ones. We call him Mr. 6 o'clock, straight up, straight down, our Canadian envoy to the show. Also, want to give a shout out, of course, this is Satana Whitfield, the executive producer here on the Shout Out Show. Always looking for bigger and brighter things for her. And you know what, people, make sure you celebrate her. Make dua for her because she has been a day one from day one, brothers and sisters. Also, I know they're going to come on later. I know how it goes. Want to give a shout out to JT. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, my candidate. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Aunt Maxine. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, my mom. Salams to you. And all the people out there in Instagram land, YouTube land, Twitter land, whatever, all of you people that wake up understanding that you know too damn much. Where does it start? There's a book that I read. It's not a classic read. It should be a classic reread. The historian that I referred to at the top of the show is Manning Marable. Manning Marable wrote a tremendous amount of text, nonfiction, I want to say well-researched text. His last book, one of his last books, of course, was about Malcolm X. A lot of people hated it because it was a technical book. It was a research book, and some of the things that were researched weren't flattering to Malcolm X. I understand, but it's history. You have to understand the information is out there. You can't be mad at the person who brings it out. That's not wise. But he wrote a book that I got a hold of, I want to say in my mid to early 20s. He wrote a book called How Capitalism Underdeveloped Black America. Let me say it again. How Capitalism Underdeveloped Black America. Now, it can be changed because the original book was by a brother named Rooney, How Capitalism Underdeveloped Africa. But Manning Marable took it to another level and made it point specific to Black America. The reason why this is relevant to everybody who isn't Black is the fact that it can happen to you. The core of Black America, the core of Black intelligentsia is built on the fact that we know too damn much. That if someone does something to you and it does not work, say it does not cause you pain, it does not kill you, but puts you in a space where you can sit back and analyze what happened. You can sit back and categorize what happened. You can actually be creatively countercultural about what happened. You can do this. Also, let me give a shout out to ResilienceCon happening in Houston, Texas, January. Satana, you want to get that date up when you get a chance? ResilienceCon, I will be there. We're trying to. ResilienceCon is a prime example of a bunch of people getting together who just know too damn much. And then going in one space, one collective sacred space, I'm going to talk about it. But let me get back to my topic. Manning Marable, through facts, statistics, anecdotes, looking at legal statutes, surmise the fact that capitalism was the thing that fueled racism. It sounds like, oh, I know that. No, 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 no. It's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to go out and look at the data. Put the data in your hand and say, these are the problems, and here's how I can prove it. How Capitalism Underdeveloped Black America is a landmark book because it gave me a clarity I hadn't had before at my 20s. And even now, I still refer to the book because I look at the fact that capitalism, as it underdeveloped Black America, capitalism now underdevelops other parts of America. How capitalism underdevelops rural America. You know, one of our things and one of the scariest things that's going on right now, and anybody can jump in if you want to. One of the scariest things that scares me right now is not that Donald Trump has led MAGA. He's just the headstone of it. He's not really the guy that's driving it. That's number one. Number two is MAGA as a cult, if you will. MAGA is a cult. And the thing that's dangerous about MAGA, and we should all be careful about this. We should all be careful about this. That MAGA is underdeveloped. That MAGA is underdeveloped. The avatar of the people in MAGA, of people who are underdeveloped, they are not just unsophisticated, but the development has been purposely retarded to the point that they can't see any other information. They can't take in any other kind of data that might remotely change their point of view. The scary part of it is MAGA keeps producing these environments. So the price of silence, brothers and sisters, is not the price of silence of people like you and myself because we talk about it. The price of silence is on the folks who believe that they're in power, but they have no power at all. That literally, and I mean literally, that people can continue to do the same things over and over and over again and believe that they're going to get a different outcome. I saw something on Instagram when I was hooking up the show. And it said, Black woman attacked. I think it was in New York somewhere. Black woman attacked. And you start going, oh my goodness. And you clicked on the video. And she was being attacked, but she wasn't being attacked by Black people. She was being attacked by what looked like brown people. Preacher, you lying? I'm not lying. I'm going to go on Kadir Latif's Instagram and see if I can find it, but it looked like she was being attacked by other minorities. So what does that mean? It means just like MAGA, who are a cult, who are in deep denial, the people who are not part of MAGA have now taken on the same characteristics, that they will be silent. And the price of silence is delusion. The price of silence is, I want to say, depression. The price of silence is mania. You will lose yourself. And I've seen this happen time and time again, particularly in the Muslim community, where people somehow believe that silence buys them acceptance in these spaces. That if I don't say what it needs to be said as a Muslim, or just a rational, logical person, if I don't say it, these people will accept me. They will not accept you. They will rebuke you. They will bring you in their circles and tell you that you're a friend, but you're a pet to them. You're a token. Then you're the ones, if you fit this category, you're the ones that they show to the rest of us to say, this is the way you need to act if you want to be in this space. We don't even want to be in this space. The resistance, if you will, is the fact that we do have foundation, if you will, in liberation. We have foundation in protest. We have foundation in accrued knowledge that goes from A to Z in the context of we can develop, we can grow, we can, if you will, succeed without the need, without the support of the overall infrastructure, because the overall infrastructure doesn't work. I would surmise that one of the downfalls of the Black community as we tried to do upward mobility is that when we bought our homes as a pathway in the middle class, we bought our homes from white banks. We bought our homes from people who had nothing in terms of goodwill towards us. And that aspect of capitalism means that it does take a 30-year mortgage to buy a house that technically could be bought in 10 years. It's just the amortization and the interest rates and things like that keep you paying to the fact it's a gamble. It's a gamble, number one, that you're going to be able to pay your mortgage. It's a gamble you're going to be able to pay your mortgage over 30 years. How capitalism underdeveloped Black America. That we pay for houses, brothers and sisters, that are overpriced. We pay the most and get the least. How capitalism underdeveloped Black America. And let me throw this in. Shout out Walaikum Assalam Rahmatullah Barakatuh, brother Eric. How you doing, beloved? Thank you for joining us. Shout out to South Kakalaki. This is antithetical to how we are raised in terms of survival narrative here in the United States. That you will work and work and work so hard to get to these things that American democracy throws your way. In the moment you get a free breath, what do we want to do? We want to go over to the people that have created all the obstacles and the problems. We still want to believe that American politics has to do with our freedom and our rights. American politics, I almost say American prostitution, it's almost the same thing. Look at Satana, don't say it. Yes, American politics and prostitution are the same thing. It literally has to do with the fact that the outliers, if you will, the outliers who stood out and said, no, they're telling you to go left, go right. The people who have been there time and time, the people who we immortalized, told us time and time again, don't go that route. We celebrate Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad Ali's, if you look at any video, says you can't go that direction. Malcolm X said you can't go that direction. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you can't go that direction. Marcus Garvey said you can't go that direction. C.L. Lewis said you can't go that direction. What do we do? We go that direction. Manny Marble says the Achilles heel or the bane of African American survival, and I want to say thriving narrative, is the fact that somehow, some way, we always find a need to compare ourselves to everybody else. The comparison is not needed. You are a one of one. Let me say that. You are a one of one. In America, politics, if you're not in that space where you understand politics, if you're not in a space where you determine policy, introduce laws, not just introduce laws that, if you will, have to do with the welfare, the positive welfare of the country, then you need to get out of this space. We need to not magicize ourselves. And Muslims, you need to not halal magatize yourself. You need to get unmagatized and understand clearly there's a notion here. There's a notion here that this capitalism is problematic, that this capitalism is dirty money. As Denzel Washington said in Highest to Lowest, all money ain't good money. And even that space creates this spiritual conundrum that somehow I got to get mine. Well, look at the example of our parents and our grandparents. They should have gotten theirs a long time ago. But vicariously, they get it through us. They should have had they should have been voting a long time ago. The houses that they purchased, some of us are still in those houses, right? And we love those houses, but we don't understand the struggle of a man and a woman that put their life savings into a project, and you have to wait 40, 50 years for that money to turn over. All of us, self-included, need to start looking at what Manny Marable talked about in the context of how capitalism developed African Americans. When I say develop Black America, it largely has to do with entrepreneurialism. It largely has to do with a mindset that white America does not want to do business with you. that Trump and MAGA don't want to do business with you. And I'm going to give you guys the characteristics. Don't do business with them. See what happens. Don't go to their stores. Don't go to their businesses. Don't patronize their goods and services. Pull back. And what will happen is they will come to your door. They will knock on your door, but they won't knock on your door saying, hey, buy my product. They're knocking on your door demanding that they buy your product, or demanding that somehow, some way, your product is their product. There's two things that need to be established. Let me give a shout out to our folks on Instagram land. Asana Kurdi, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's Ina Yahoma, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shayan, shout out, salams. CWR Butter, Uthman, my main man, my main Nasheed, how you doing, beloved? Peace out in the Bay. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And my main man, Jabril, how holding it down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Salams, my good brother. Wa alaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me throw this out and be clear. At the top of the show, I'd say the most dangerous thing about MAGA is that MAGA as a cult, listen to me, MAGA as a cult is underdeveloped. That they cater to underdeveloped people. If you see a senator basically bend over and grab his ankles for Donald Trump, did I say that? Yeah, I did say that. And he has multiple degrees. He's got a law degree. He's got a business. He's a millionaire. He's a senator. But he grabbed him ankles. I'm here to tell you, he's underdeveloped. See, all that other stuff, these accoutrements, all these accoutrements don't mean nothing. Because when it comes down to the dilly, if you will, when the rubber meets the road, you're going to find out who these people are. You know, MAGA should be the party of the undeveloped. You're going to sit here and look at me and go, what's the attraction of Donald Trump? Have you ever had a president who's been even more underdeveloped in terms of business, in terms of politics, in terms of personality, in terms of just caring, in terms of mercy? We've never had a president that's just been this underdeveloped, and we elected him twice. I didn't elect him, you didn't elect him, but the collective thought was, hear me now, in history books, it'll just say one. It won't say that Preacher Mars didn't vote for him, or Satana didn't vote for him, or anybody. It'll just say he won. And it carries the gravitas that he had mass approval. He had a consensus. God forbid he had a mandate. That's what they'll be on. That's what they're going to say down the road. But let me throw this out here because I know our time is getting short. If you get a chance to read Manning Marable, How Capitalism Underdeveloped Black America, you realize that America right now is not black anymore. The politics, the religion, the money, the education has made America very diverse. And it's made its problems extremely diverse too. This book works as a framework, if you will. A framework to understand how capitalism can underdevelop other aspects outside of the black community. Read it carefully. You know, America's poor are not all black. The majority of America's poor are not all black. The majority of America's illiterate are not all black. Think about this. There's a framework there. And I'm hoping under the auspices of you people on this show, watching this show, I told you who you are. You are people who know too damn much. I'm going to implore you to keep knowing too damn much. Taking these ideas like a Manning Marable and maybe applying them to situations. Hold on a minute. My alarm is going off. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, people. Look, I'm doing a good job just getting up. and doing the show at 6 in the morning. So don't be hating on me. 6:25 a.m. alarm goes off anywhere in the world. But what I was saying was, if there's a chance to read parts of this book and in your imagination be creative, in your wisdom apply these to situations, understand that the undeveloped nature of Black America was a blueprint for the undeveloped nature of America right now. It was a blueprint for the underdeveloped narrative American politics right now, American economics right now, American war philosophy right now. It's all underdeveloped. If you look at the last few wars, anything from the Gulf War to the Gulf War to the latest attack on Iran to Israel bombing Doha, Qatar, you're talking about undeveloped people, undeveloped countries, undeveloped ideas, acting as if they are developed, acting as if they are well informed. You know, I'm gonna say this. Maybe I get kicked off the air. I don't care. One of the most undeveloped countries in the world, aside from the United States, is Israel. There's no way, no how, that you can claim sophistication and be that barbaric, that you can claim some type of moral high ground and be that demonic. Of course, Israel gets its blueprint from the United States because the price of silence in the United States, of course, was how many hundreds of years of slavery, how many years of Jim Crow, how many years of segregation, how many years, to the point whereby people go, yeah, it's police brutality, but they go, those people that have seen it before. And here's the knock, and I'm going to throw this out before the show. Jabril Howe can probably attest to this. There's the price of silence, and then there's the price of silence because your voice doesn't work anymore. Because you screamed and hollered at the height of your frustration and things like that. You screamed and hollered to physically and sometimes emotionally and metaphorically, you lost your voice. You lost your voice to the point that you can yell, but people are not listening. And so they hear silence. So you think about talking in silence, they hear silence. They are silent. So let me throw this out and I'm going to go. Again, if you get a chance, just catch the first 3 chapters of How Capitalism Underdeveloped Black America. That's number 1. Number 2, if you do that, take a deep, hard look at American politics. Is it progressive politics? Has it devolved or has it evolved? That's my question. But also look at the nature and the behavior of the people in politics that is animalistic, that is driven by capitalism. Well, listen, that's the show. Inshallah, I'll be back on the ground in Washington, D.C. next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. And please, let's pray for our brothers and sisters. And I don't want to say undeveloped countries. They're in underdeveloped situations. That goes for Gaza, Yemen, Sudan, all parts of Africa, in the inner cities of America. Let's pray for our children that they rise up. Remember, brothers and sisters, there's strength in being people that know too damn much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you next Wednesday.